buddies! We are going to read today Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Written by Judy Barrett.
Let's start. We were all sitting around the big kitchen table. It was Saturday morning, pancake morning. Mom was making orange juice. Henry and I were betting on how many pancakes we could eat, and Grandpa was flipping the pancakes.
Seconds later, a pancake flew through the air, heading towards the kitchen ceiling, and landed right on Henry. We all laughed, even Grandpa. All the other pancakes landed in the pan. We ate all of them, even the one that landed on Henry.
That night, Grandpa told us the best bedtime story ever. He said the flying pancake made him think of it. Across an ocean, over lots of huge bumpy mountains, across 3 hot deserts, and one smaller ocean, there lay a tiny town of Chew and Swallow.
In most ways, it was like any other tiny town. It had a main street, stores, houses, trees, gardens, a schoolhouse, about 300 people, and some cats and dogs. But there were no food stores in the town of Chew and Swallow. They didn't need any. The only thing that was really different about Chew and Swallow was its weather. It came 3 times a day, at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Everything that everyone ate came from the sky.
I don't know if I eat anything from the sky. That's weird. It never rained rain. It never snowed. And it never blew just when. It rained things like soup and juice. It snowed mashed potatoes and green peas. And sometimes the wind blew in storms of hamburgers.
Every morning, people watched the weather report on TV to find out what they would eat that day. Ooh. They would even hear a prediction for the next day's food. When the townspeople went outside, they carried their plates, cups, glasses, forks, spoons, knives, and napkins with them. That way, they would always be ready for any kind of weather. If there was leftovers, the people took them home and put them in their refrigerators in case they got hungry between meals.
It's crazy. Lots of leftovers. By the time they woke up in the morning, breakfast was coming down. First, there was a shower of orange juice. Then, low clouds of sunny side-up eggs moved in, followed by pieces of toast. Butter and jelly sprinkled down for the toast, and most of the time, it rained milk afterward. At least they were never thirsty. For lunch one day, frankfurters and rolls blew in from the northwest at about 5 miles an hour. There was mustard clouds nearby. Then the wind shifted to the east and brought in baked beans. A drizzle of soda finished off the meal.
Could you imagine getting stuck in a rain of soda?
Oh, that's sticky.
That sounds real sticky.
Yes.
For dinner one night, there would be lamb chops, becoming heavy at times with occasions of ketchup. Periods of peas and baked potatoes were followed by gradual clearing with a wonderful Jell-O setting in the west. The sanitation department of Chew and Swallow had to remove the food that fell on the houses and sidewalk and lawns. The workers cleaned things up after every meal and fed all the dogs and cats. Then they emptied the leftovers into the ocean for the fish and turtles and whales to eat.
I don't think fish and turtles should be eating that.
No, I don't think they like hot dogs.
No. Life for the townspeople was delicious until the weather took a turn for the worse. One day, there was nothing but granolas, cheese all day. The next day, there were only broccoli, all overcooked. Oh my God, that's yuck. And the next day, there were Brussels sprouts and peanut butter with mayonnaise.
Ew.
That sounds really gross. Another day, there was a pea soup fog. And one could see that they were going and they could barely find the rest of the meal that got stuck in the fog. They couldn't see where, pea soup fog. Have you
imagine?
Have you ever ate pea soup?
No. It's
No,
not
me
for
neither.
Me.
Mm-mm.
I don't like green foods.
No?
No.
Oh, wow.
The food was getting larger and larger. One Tuesday, there was a hurricane of bread and rolls all day long and into the night. There were soft rolls and hard rolls. There was white bread and rye and whole wheat toast. No one had ever seen such big slices of bread or such large rolls before. It was a terrible day. Everyone had to stay indoors. The mess took the sanitation workers 4 days to clean up, and the sea was full of floating rolls. To help out, people piled up as much bread as they could in their backyards. It stayed there and got very hard and very stale. There was a storm of pancakes one morning and a downpour of maple syrup that nearly flooded the town. A huge pancake covered the school.
Wow.
Would you imagine having a day off because of a pancake?
No, but I would enjoy it.
No one could get it off, so they had to close the school.
For a pancake? Wow. Lunch one day brought 15-inch drifts of cream cheese and jelly sandwiches. That's an odd combination. Everyone ate themselves sick, and the day ended with a stomach ache. There was an awful salt and pepper wind followed by an even worse tomato tornado. People were sneezing themselves silly. The town was a mess. There were seeds and tomato pulp everywhere. I can imagine. Achoo! Achoo!
The sanitation department gave up. The job was just too big. Everyone feared for their lives. They couldn't go outside most of the time. Many houses had been hit by giant meatballs.
Wow.
Stores were boarded up, and there were no more school for the children. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So they decided to leave the town of Chew and Swallow. They had to.
Yes, I would leave too. Sounds very dangerous. The people made rafts out of the giant pieces of stale bread glued together with peanut butter and set sail for a new land. Yeah. After sailing for a week, they reached a small, friendly town. They built houses for themselves out of their rafts.
The children began school again, and the adults found jobs. The biggest change they had to make was getting used to buying their food at the supermarket. Nothing came down from the sky except rain and snow. The clouds above their heads were not made of fried eggs. No one ever got hit by a hamburger again, and nobody dared to go back to Chew and Swallow to find out what had happened to it. They were too afraid. Henry and I were awake until the very end of Grandpa's story. I remember his goodnight kiss.
The next morning, we woke up to see snow falling outside our window. We ran downstairs for breakfast and ate it a little faster than usual, as we could go sledding with Grandpa. It's funny, but even as we were sledding down the hill, we thought we saw a giant pat of butter at the top, and we could almost smell mashed potatoes. The end.
Miss Henderson, if it could rain any food, what would you want it to rain?
Probably a cheeseburger.
Oh, that would be really good.
Yes.
French fries?
Yes.
Oh, that'd be so good.
That sounds. How about you?
I would want ice cream. Like piles and piles of snow-like ice cream.
That would be
You make a
delicious.
snowman and then eat it all.
Yes. Oh, with some chocolate syrup
That'd be so good.
and sprinkles.
Yes, and a big cherry on top.
Yes.
Perfect! All right, we're good.